little ones. How are you all doing? Are you all good? Are you all staying happy? Are you ready for today's book? What is the name of today's book? It's about a cute little animal and a cute little bird. The book's name is The Fluffy Hedgehog and the Prickly Bird. So shall we just head right into the book today? Very beautiful pictures, isn't it? What a lovely colorful book. And as I told you, the story is about a bird and a hedgehog. Do you know what's a hedgehog? Have you heard of a porcupine? An animal that has, a prickly body with a lot of spines, thorn-like things on its body? Yes, that's a hedgehog or a porcupine. So our first character is a bird, and our story begins with the bird being born. Once upon a time, a baby bird was born. Can you see? There's our cute little birdie, and there's the egg cracking open, and can you see that birdie peeping out? She was different from her brothers and sisters. But this is our bird here, and these are her brothers and sisters in the same nest. But she was a little different from all of them. Do you know why? Because she had prickles instead of feathers. Oh, that's really weird, isn't it? Very different, isn't it? Can you see her body? Instead of soft feathers, this bird had prickles on her body. And she was hurting everybody else in the nest, isn't it? Her brothers and sisters, they're saying, ouch, ouch, because it's poking their bodies. She was very different from all of them. Beth's sisters and brothers didn't like her very much. Even Beth's mother was embarrassed by her. And as she grew up, no one wanted to be her friend. So just because she was different, she didn't have friends. Her brothers and sisters were not very fond of her. Even her mother didn't like her much. That's really sad, isn't it? No one wanted to be her friend. One day, Beth was hopping along in the forest, alone as usual, when she came across a hedgehog who was crying. So see her body, now she's grown and all her prickly body can be clearly seen over here. And one day she was just hopping along in the forest alone because, as I told you earlier, nobody wanted to be her friend. So she was just going around alone when she saw somebody. She saw a hedgehog, and what was wrong with the hedgehog? He was crying. Can you see this teardrop on his face? "What's wrong?" asked Beth. "No one likes me because I've got feathers instead of prickles," replied the hedgehog sadly. So now what's wrong with the hedgehog? He's also very different from all the other hedgehogs there. Why? Because I told you in the beginning, the hedgehogs usually have a prickly body, isn't it? But here, this hedgehog is different. His body is covered with feathers. All of his body is covered with feathers instead of the usual prickles. So since he is very different from all the other hedgehogs, he too is alone and sad and lonely, and nobody wants to be his friend, and that is why he is crying. "That's odd," said Beth. "I've got prickles instead of feathers." So there's a bird who has prickles instead of feathers, and there's a hedgehog who has feathers instead of prickles, isn't it? The hedgehog looked at Beth and asked what her name was. "Beth," said Beth. "I'm Herbert," said Herbert. So now I think they're going to become friends, isn't it? Because they're different, nobody wants to be their friend, so maybe they can become each other's friends. So Bird's name is Beth, and what did the hedgehog say his name was? Can you guys say? Herbert. Yes. "I'd like to be your friend," said Beth. "Would you?" said Herbert. Suddenly, he didn't feel so sad anymore. As the weeks went by, the two animals became best friends, but they still wished they were normal. So, what happens? They become friends, isn't it? Like I told you, they become friends, they become the best of friends, and they just spend a lot of time together. And they become not so sad, isn't it? They are not so sad as before because they've got each other. But sometimes they do wish that they were normal, like all the other animals in their species. Meanwhile, all the animals in the forest were whispering about a party. "It's Princess Nina's birthday party," squeaked the mice. "Her father, King Harry, is inviting everyone." So after they've become friends, weeks and months pass, and then one day the whole forest gets very excited. Can you see what beautiful forest? I love this greens over here, different shades of green over here, and there are the deers, there's owl, everybody, isn't it? And everybody's talking very excitedly about something. What's that? Apparently it is the Princess Nina's birthday party is coming up, and the king is planning a huge birthday party, and all the animals in the forest are invited. But somebody is not invited. Do you know who that is? But not everyone was invited. Poor Beth and Herbert weren't asked. So again, they have been left outside. They have not been invited for the biggest party in the forest. Soon the big day arrived. Beth and Herbert could hear everyone shouting and laughing. See this music over here. Can you see the signs of music all over the forest? And can you see balloons on the trees, and everything's decorated and all the animals are having fun? But our poor Herbert and Beth, they were not invited. So they are upset and they're just watching from a distance. They peeked through a bush to see what was going on. All the animals were having a lovely time. Felix the Fox was handing out big helium balloons to everyone. Princess Nina kept asking for more and more. So this is Felix the Fox, and he had these big helium balloons. You've seen helium balloons when you go out to parks or a carnival. Those balloons that just fly high up into the air if you let go of them. Yes. So here's our fox, and he is giving Princess Nina. This is Princess Nina. She kept asking for more and more balloons. Usually we'll just take one helium balloon, isn't it? But Princess Nina, she said she wants more, more, more. So she kept taking all the helium balloons. And then something really bad happened. Soon Nina had so many that she started floating up into the air. Everyone stared up in horror. "What shall we do?" they all wailed. "We must think of a way to get her down," cried the king. So this is the king there, isn't it? Very different, isn't it? Usually whenever we talk about the king of the forest, we talk about lion, isn't it? But looks like this is a squirrel, isn't it? In the forest, in this book, everything seems to be different. So what happened? So she had this lot of helium balloons here, and all those balloons started to float high up into the air, and Princess Nina too started just floating away high up into the air with the balloons. And everybody started crying, "Oh my God, we have to get her down. She'll fall down. We have to get her down quick." And the king was also extremely upset. "Herbert," said Beth, "I think I've got an idea." And she quickly whispered her plan to Herbert before swooping off into the air. So Beth and Herbert, who were, hiding and watching all these things, Beth said she had an idea, and she just whispered slowly into the Herbert's ears, and she told him what her idea was. And nobody else knew, and she just started flying up. "Hey, it's that ugly bird!" Everyone snorted. "She wasn't invited." So, what happened here, children? When she started flying up into the air, all the other animals cried and said, "Hey, it's that dirty, ugly-looking bird. We did not invite her. Why is she here?" Beth ignored them all. She flew as fast as her prickly wings could carry her. Very soon she was in reach of Nina. So she was very upset when you listen to all these comments, people making fun of you. Beth was upset, but she had to do something very important. So she ignored all those, and she just started flying higher and high towards Princess Nina. Suddenly, everything happened at once. What does she do? Pop, pop, bang, pop! Lots of balloons burst. She used her prickly body to start bursting all those balloons, isn't it? And all the balloons, one by one, they started bursting. The crowd gasped as Nina started to fall through the air. "You fool! What do you think you're doing?" yelled the king. So what happens? Nina was floating up with all those balloons, isn't it? And what happens, children, if I just go and burst all those balloons? All of that will go down, and the animal will start falling down, isn't it? Because can squirrels fly? Can they just stay up there in the air? No. So when the balloons burst, Nina started falling down towards the ground and everybody started getting scared. Okay, and the king was making fun of Beth. He was very angry with Beth. He called Beth a fool and said, "What are you doing?" Nobody saw Herbert run into the clearing and curl up into a little ball. Nina fell to the ground, but she landed right on top of Herbert and bounced on his thick layer of feathers. She was safe. The crowd cheered, "Hooray for Herbert and Beth!" So, what's happening here? The bird pricked the balloons and the princess, she started falling onto the ground. And even before she could hit the ground, our hero here, Herbert, isn't it? He ran over there and he curled himself up into a soft ball of feather and he just sat there. So Princess Nina fell on top of him and she was, when you fall on something soft, you don't get hurt, isn't it? So she was also safe. "Come on, let's carry on with the party," cried Nina happily. "Herbert and Beth, will you be my special guests?" So Princess Nina, she was very happy that she did not get hurt on her birthday and she wanted to continue the party and she wanted to thank the two friends who had saved her. And she, the princess, personally invited them to be her special guests at her birthday party. At the end of the day, King Harry made a speech. There was a speech by the king. What did he say? "Beth and Herbert, I am very sorry for all the nasty things that have been said about you, and I am very grateful to you both for saving my daughter." So the king, he had spoken very badly about them, isn't it? He was very angry. He called them a fool. He did not invite them to the party at first, isn't it? So now in front of everybody, he apologizes to them. He tells them, "I'm sorry for all the nasty things I've told about you. And thank you so much for saving my daughter." And from that moment on, Beth and Herbert made lots and lots of new friends. So that's how the story ends, because now they have lots of friends and they are not lonely anymore. Did you like the story? If you liked it, do follow the Storyteller Mom. Do check out my other videos on YouTube, and also you can check out my Instagram channel and follow me for workshops for children. Thank you.